Everybody, Bruce the Lab Dad here. We're out in the shop today and we've built a special expo box for us to take to trade shows and for us to use in videos that basically it's going to look a little funny to you, but the reason we did that is that it has every single feature that we make in a dog box so that we can do a show and tell on the box. Instead of saying, hey, think about this or think about that, we've done it all. So we'll start out with the basic function. We've got a dog box on the top. We've got a storage drawer on the bottom. We've got some geometry we're playing with. We have our standard square top. We have our optional angle top. And then we have an example of how the box is connected to the storage box underneath, or how our connector system works between multiple boxes. This box also has a plastic snap cover on it. If we turn it to the side, you'll see the vents that we put on for internal venting, like inside of a vehicle. Typically that comes with our express kit. If we turn it to the back, you'll see our setup for our fan kits, where we have our removable winter cover, and then where our fan mounts. We'll talk some specifics about that. And if we show the other side, you can see that we have our sliding vent and vent cover, along with our D-rings for tying down. So again, this box has got a little bit of everything. We can pop the snap cover off and see what our vented door looks like, our standard vented door with our latches. And then if we look inside, we can see that we've got our removable grate on the inside. So this is kind of one show and tell all-purpose box that you can come to a trade show or watch on our videos and see what all of our features look like. All right, so let's talk about our snap covers. Snap cover, simple and easy. We've got a nice, thin, flexible plastic cover. It's got snaps on it, snaps on the door. And whether you want to have a visual obstruction and not have your dog seeing other dogs, whether you're going down the road, whether you want to retain heat, we just simply put the cover on, snap it in place, and you've got a cover. Nice thing about the cover is because of the snaps, there is a small gap there, which allows for some ventilation. In the wintertime, a lot of heat being generated by the dog, got good bedding in your dog box, and that provides a little bit of ventilation while still retaining the heat. Another option we'll talk about on this dog box is we also include the drawer. And typically a drawer is used for storage of supplies and other things. Could be ammo boxes, could be collars, could be leashes, whatever you want to put in it. Oftentimes a double box is used on a triple dog box because it elevates. It's 11 inches tall, so it elevates the box over the wheel well on the pickup, so you can slide it up against the back of the cab. Typical use for a storage box underneath. If we'll zoom in and do something on the latches too. Okay. All right. If we look on the inside, one of the options that we have is a graded floor panel. This is a rigid plastic, about 1/2 of an inch thick. And what this provides for us is, number one, we have traction for the dogs, so they're not slipping around or sliding on a slippery floor. Number two, alone in the box, it provides a containment area for any moisture, whether your dog just got out of the pond, whether it has an accident. The moisture is going to be down inside the grate and they're not going to be laying in the moisture. The nice thing about this being rigid is that underneath the box, we can put in a piece of our highly absorbent fleece, set that in the bottom of the box, put the grate on top of the fleece, and now you have two things. Number one, you have cushion, a little bit of bounce, and two, now we talk about the water, the moisture, the other things that might be in there. They're getting absorbed into the fleece, not sloshing around, and the dog's getting a comfortable and a dry ride. You can also use pee pads, other things like that. Lift up the grate, take out the pad, wash it, put it right back in. This box shows us the angle top design, and you can see it in comparison to the square top. Typically, we're going to use an angle top for the back of an enclosed vehicle, typically an SUV, maybe a Suburban or Tahoe Expedition. It allows us to get in that hatch opening and slide everything in and allow it to fit. The other place that we'll use the angle top is in an open pickup bed, whether you have a 2-dog box or a 3-dog box. It just simply gives a little bit of visual conformance to the side of the cab. It's just not square with the cab. Most of the truck cabs are rounded. It just gives it a better look. From a performance standpoint, zero performance difference. From a room standpoint, essentially zero room difference. Oftentimes kennels, pre-manufactured single-piece kennels that we see on the marketplace are narrow at the bottom, wide at the middle, narrow at the top. We are full width all the way across the bottom, and obviously when you get up here, a little bit of space that's taken out in the headroom is really irrelevant to when the dog is laying on the bottom or even turning around. One thing to note when we have this open, this is a demo box, so it's not very deep. It's not very deep on purpose, so we can easily haul it around, take it to trade shows. Typically, dog boxes are deeper. We make 3 dog box kits. We make an Express, we make a Hunter, and we make a Pro. On the website, there's a chart that shows all of the options that are available with each one of the boxes. If you are putting a box under a topper, if you're putting a box in a horse trailer, in a van, inside of an SUV, inside of a vehicle where it's not going to be exposed to the elements, typically we're going to use our Express design. And the Express design has a much wider amount of openings on the side. We're using our herringbone style openings. They're going to be on the side, they're going to be on the back, and it's going to be very, very open, with the intent being that when you're in those vehicles, you're already generating heat in some fashion, you're generating air conditioning, and you want a lot of airflow. If it's in a trailer, if it's in a toy hauler, all good places to use our Express style with the wide open vents. Nothing covers them. You're not worried about rain. You're not worried about cold. You're not worried about snow, mud, and dirt. And then they also come with the D-rings, which you can latch down. The other way to latch boxes down, to tie boxes down, you can run, since this is open between the drawer and the box, you can run a cinch strap underneath here. You can run a cinch strap over the top. All acceptable ways to latch the box in. In our Hunter Series box, the Hunter Series now is made for being exposed, being outdoors in a pickup truck, being exposed in the bed. Certainly could be used under a topper, but typically they're exposed. So with the Hunter Series, we're going to have the snap-on cover. Pops off like that. And then on the side of the box, instead of having the open venting, we're going to use basically our standard hold opening that has a sliding vent cover. And this simply goes up, indexes over, goes up, indexes over, and closes. Goes either way. Kind of Hunter-proof in terms of how you open or close it. D-rings on the side for latching it down. Now this box, between closing the vents, snapping the covers tight, is good for summer, good for winter. Can use it anytime. The last of our third kit series of boxes is called the Pro Series. And the Pro Series is just going to add additional options. It's going to be standard with the plastic floor grate. It's going to have the plastic snap cover. It's going to have the sliding side vents. And then it's also going to have the fan on the back. So this right now is set up without the fan for a winter configuration with the blank plate. The fan is a separate assembly, and what we do is we simply slide the fan in the guillotine, and now we have a fan. Our design has always been, let's put a fan in every dog compartment. So if you have a 2-dog box, you get 2 fans. If you have a 3-dog box, you get 3 fans. The fans have a connector assembly that connects to the fan right here on the pigtail. It's got a reversible switch, so the fan is reversible. You can blow air in or you can suck air out. And the nice thing about having individual fans is that each dog can have their own preference of in or out, or if you have a compartment that's empty, you don't have to run that fan, and so you can shut it off. Again, at the end of the season or at winter time, we simply slide this out, put in the blank plate, and now we have a nice tight box for winter time. The nice thing about the drawers is they're retained, and what I've done in order to get the drawer to come out, you can see we have a stop block here. To get the drawer to come out, we simply squeeze the drawer, the block pops, the block releases, and it comes out. You can clean things out, reach something in the back. When we're all done and we want to put the drawer back in, We simply line it up. It flexes on its way in, and we close the door. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about some of the very specific features about the Northstar branded dog box. The latch is probably the one thing that there hasn't been a single person that hasn't complimented us on not only the quality of the latch, but the function of the latch. Historically, dog boxes have slam latches, they have gate latches, they have twist latches, they've got all different kinds of latches. Sometimes you even have to have a secondary latch. You know, you have a hook with a clip you have to put in just because one time it popped open, and I don't want that to happen again. Have eliminated all of it with this latch. We call this a T-handle latch. The latch flips up, turns, and the door opens. And we can see right here on the mechanism that there's a cam on the inside. And what this cam does, because the door overlaps the frame, what the cam does, it actually pinches, like my finger, pinches and holds those two things together. This cam is adjustable, so over time, if it gets loose, we can realign it. The advantage is this: when you close the door and it pinches those two pieces together, there's no rattling. This doesn't move, it doesn't rattle. If it's in the back of an enclosed vehicle, in a trailer, an SUV, there's no rattling. Not only that, but it's a multi-function lock. So when we close the door, it's now locked. It would not open, but it's a folding T-handle. So now the T-handle folds, and now it cannot twist. No way, no how. And lastly, there's actually a key lock on it. So it's a 3-function lock. We're going to twist, clamp, close, and lock. Great locks, 100% success. A lot of times people ask us, why in our dog boxes do we have this external frame? Why do we have this piece that extends beyond the side of the box, like we see here, this space here, or this space here in the back? Why do we have that? Twofold. Number one, that allows us to do a great job of welding because we have a nice right angle. We can lay a weld bead down and do a nice solid joint. But secondly, and most important, and what we don't realize sometimes, is we have these holes around the outer part. And we call this the outer flange or the mounting flange. We can see here how we've used our mounting system to connect the box to the drawer. The mounting system's a little bit interesting because think about Lego blocks, right? I mean, that's essentially how we can go box to box, box to drawer, box to box to box. We can stack on the bottom, stack on the top, drawers on top, drawers on the bottom, boxes on the side, a whole bank of boxes in the back of a toy hauler. What we're doing is that we have a plate, a stainless steel plate, pre-threaded, and we simply put the plate behind the flange, put a screw in. Whoops, if I can get the screw to go in. Put a screw in, and then now we have a connector plate. Now we put our second box, drawer, whatever it is, up to the side, put the screw in there, and now we have a firm connection. Rock solid, almost feels like a singular unit, but it allows us to ship in pieces, allows you to manage in pieces. You want to add a box, take a box away, add some drawers, all kinds of flexibility now and in the future. So let's talk about a construction technique with our dog boxes. We talked in another video about how we always want to have a nice right angle joint to be able to weld into. So when we fabricate our boxes, what we do is we take the piece we're matching up to and machine a dado. A dado is just a slot that fits the adjacent material, and you can see the dado here. And this was the start of the weld, and so we're not really down tight against that dado, but if we turn it around and we look at a cross-section of that weld, we can see that as we have a mechanical fit with the two pieces fitting together, so we have the strength of the mechanics of the material holding themselves together, and then we've welded it. Plastic welding, no different than metal welding. We're trying to liquefy and fuse both the original material with a filler material, and you can see if we look at a cross-section of this, we've accomplished that. That's just a solid piece of plastic right in those areas. We've done bend tests on these weld samples, and the weld does not break, the plastic breaks, that's the greatest success of a good weld, if you're breaking the material and not the welded joint. If you're getting a box with fans, the back of the box is going to have ventilation holes in it, and it's going to have a mounting frame for the fan assembly. The fan assembly is going to come separate in a box. Here's what the fan assembly looks like. This is going to be against the box. This is going to be what's exposed in the back. Pretty simple. It's a 12-volt radiator fan. We have protection from the vanes on this side. We're going to simply slide it in. Now the fan's mounted in the box. We have a quick connect that comes to a spool of wire with a reversing switch. So we're going to connect the box together like that. We have a reversing switch that is either off, exhaust, or supply. That reverses the direction of the fan, and then we provide you with 2 leads, and the leads are what you hook up in your particular mounting situation. Could be directly to a battery, could be to a cigarette lighter, could be to a bank of switches. There's a plethora of ways to do that. We give you about 6 feet of cable up to the switch, and then we give you about 10 feet of cable from the switch out to where you connect it. Oftentimes people might mount the switch on the side of the box so they can turn it off or on, or they have a bank of switches. Entirely up to you to give you all kinds of flexibility. At the end of the season, one more thing before we take that out, you'll notice there's about 2 3/4 inches on the back of that added when we add the fan to it. So when you're sliding it back into something, you have to account for that. Now, the reason we have this frame here is so when you do slide it back, we're going to hit the frame and not crush the fan. Or if you're trying to make use of all the space you have and throwing a bunch of luggage and other crap in there, crap is a positive term of all the necessary items you need, then it's not going to plug up that fan opening, and it's going to make sure that that fan is always getting some air. Lastly, at the end of the season, we slide the fan out, put the blank plate in, and now we're ready for winter. So quick reminder, we talk about it all the time. Our dog boxes are made out of high-density polyethylene, typically known as HDPE. Oftentimes, if you're from the South, you'll know it as starboard. It's used a lot in boating environments and fishing. The magic about it, or I guess the most recognition part of it is, it's like a commercial cutting board. And so what's magic about it is it works like wood. We can cut it, we can thread it, we can do all kinds of things like that with it. They actually make outdoor cabinets out of it. If it gets damaged, if it gets dented, if it gets scratched, you can use a little bit of sandpaper and smooth it out. It's just a very easy to maintain material. Has a little bit of weight to it. The front of the boxes are 1/2 inch thick material. The sides of the boxes are 1/4 inch material, but that's what gives us strength. We don't have to have any internal structure or anything that takes up space, or most importantly, anything on the inside box that gives the dogs entertainment. Entertainment means things to chew on, things to gnaw on. The inside of the box is very smooth and very safe for the dog. The other thing we want to talk about with our plastic material is it's a light gray color, and if you had some older boxes, they might have been white. We've gone to a light gray color, same performance, especially when it comes to sunshine and heat. What the material does, what the plastic and the lightweight plastic material does, it reflects the sunlight, and so it does not absorb heat. And so if you go out on a 100-degree day, 95, 100-degree day, put your hand on this box, it's going to feel warm, but it's not going to be hot, and you can leave your hand on that box. If you do that on a metal box, which we've done, a diamond plate metal box, aluminum box, or a stainless steel box, they may be the similar temperature, but you cannot leave your hand on that metal box. It's going to feel like it's burning your hand. The same is true on the inside. We get a lot of questions from people. Hey, do you make insulated boxes? Our question is why? And they said, well, I need an insulated box because I'm going to hunt where it's cold. Dogs don't need insulation for cold. Dogs make heat. You put the proper bedding in, wood chips, straw, blankets, whatever you put in there, that dog is going to generate heat. As long as we've sealed the openings off, they're going to generate heat and be plenty warm. The reason that people want insulated boxes is because they have metal boxes, and metal boxes need to be heated for summertime use. The inside temperature, and we have a video we'll show you that documents this, the inside temperature, the surface temperature of a box is 7 to 10 degrees hotter than a plastic box, because the metal transmits that heat and it gets hot, just like we talked about being hot to the touch on the outside, it's hot to the touch on the inside. And so that's why metal boxes need insulation. It's to protect the dog on the inside from being too hot against the metal or getting burned against the metal. Plastic box, not the case. Is it going to be warm? Yes. Circulate some air, but the surface is not going to be hot to the touch, and it's going to